Hey, welcome to another video. I'm Presley. Today we're going to be reading True Off My Chest stories from the Reddit group. I'm pretty excited. This is my first time scrolling around in this Reddit, so I'm pretty excited for the stories we're going to read. I think these ones are going to provide some better stories than the asshole things, just because sometimes asshole can really bore me. I've heard that the True Off My Chest Reddit can have some pretty crazy stuff in it, so today that's what we're looking at. I have my feed pulled up over here, and I'm just gonna read a couple stories, talk about them. Today I'm wearing my Bucky shirt. Yeehaw! So the first True Off My Chest story, this one, the title says, "My best friend told me our friendship is over if I don't break up with my partner whom she hates." Oh, that's such a sticky situation. Anyways, let's read the story and see what happens. I'm 29, my best friend's 30. She can't stand my partner, although she's never even met him. My life had a bad start. My family was poor because of my father, who constantly drank and gambled. In the end, he left and abandoned us for good. My brother was not different than him. At the age of 20, I was the only one who made money. My mother passed away when we were kids. I worked and also went to college and started soon working at a big company and making really good money. I have a lot of trauma from my childhood, and this best friend of mine is a psychotherapist, so I opened up. I told her I simply don't want to date a man without money, ambition, and someone who can be a leader. I grew up with weak men who abandon us. She told me the trauma is talking and I shouldn't care about a man's income and career, but only about how he treats me and if he has good humor. I said I wouldn't date an abuser, but for me, good humor and being treated nice is not the only thing that matters. I want to have children, and I want a man who is a good role model and who will not change jobs every 3 months and drink the money away. My partner is 39, a 10-year age gap. But I am not a kid anymore. I'm not a teen. I can rely on him. I like that he's manly, that he makes people around him respect him, and he treats me right too. I don't want to be a trophy wife. I have my job and my career. I can provide for myself, but I want this kind of man. Probably is due to my past, but I see nothing wrong with my preferences. She told me it was just a phase, that I will grow up and be wiser. I said no. I want a real man, one I can look up to, one who can protect me and our future family and make good money. It doesn't mean to be a millionaire, but I want a man who has financial stability. I don't want someone who earns half of what I earn. It's just a preference. In the end, she told me we can no longer be friends because she doesn't want immature friends who don't grow up and allow their trauma to lead them. I should break up or our friendship is over. Also, she, at 30 years old, is still very much helped by her own father, who gives her money every week for groceries and bought her an apartment because she, as a therapist, doesn't make much. So for her, it's easy to not care about other stuff except humor. She grew up in a very healthy environment. Her family still protects her. Already, this psychotherapist telling you that your preferences are all due to your trauma is insane to me, because all of these things are totally valid and good to ask for in a partner if that's what you want and your preferences. The therapist saying the only thing about a man that matters is the way he treats you and if he has good humor is coming from a place of privilege, because a friend is saying she has everything paid for, her daddy takes care of her. Yet she has the audacity to be like,
money's not everything.
for her friend to tell her you're so immature to care about those things. Girl, you're a fucking bitch. How about that? So sorry. I'm low-key in a bad mood today, so maybe not the best time to be giving my opinion about stuff. This lady just sounds like a fucking bitch. Let's read the comments. First off, number one, first comment. She's being manipulative. It couldn't be more clear from the fact that she hasn't even met your partner. Let her end the friendship. Another one, she's so jealous of you. Cut the friendship off. That was a good story. I liked that one. That one was good. I hope, listen, to this girl, I really hope that you find or marry someone that you really love, who treats you well, who can financially support your family's future. And that I think it's awesome that you don't have to rely on a man for money, but that you still expect him to provide. I think that's cool. So fuck that other lady. Follow your heart. You know what you need in life. Oh my God. Sorry. I didn't mean to yell that loud. This one was Holy shit. Sorry. I just read the title and it said, I almost killed 2 people 10 years ago. This was posted 6 hours ago. Let's read. So 10 years ago, he was 19 at the time, was a bit of a reckless driver. I had a problem at that time of always texting and driving. I always saw the warnings, always heard the stories, but in my mind, I was a good driver. I always thought that it will never happen to me. One day, I'm driving home from work, the same route I've taken countless times before. I was on a straight road through the woods going the speed limit. I was behind another vehicle, so me being the good driver that I thought I was, put my car in cruise control and looked at my phone. I wish I could say it was only a glance, but I know back then it was probably a few seconds. Then I look up. Not even 30 feet in front of me, the car has stopped. I was going 45 miles per hour and had no chance of stopping in time to avoid a collision, so I swerved around them. I passed them on the left. Luckily, no cars were coming, and in front of their car, I see 2 kids walking across the crosswalk with their bikes. I remember every second of it as clear as day. The absolute horror on these kids' faces as my car barrels past them, narrowly missing. The driver laying on the horn, the kids' bikes falling as they run back to the sidewalk in fear. I remember watching my mirror as the person in the car puts their hazards on and got out to comfort the kids. I think of this every time I get in my car. I could have killed them. There are so many things that could have ended differently. Looking back on it, I was never a good driver. I am now. No good driver would ever touch their phone, let alone text and drive with it. I never did stop to make sure those kids were okay. I just dropped my phone and drove home. Buddy, wow. That is a lot. And the fact that this person has been thinking about this every time they get in their car for the past 10 years, I think you got your karma. Obviously, you feel the guilt and the shame from this happening. I can't imagine. I would feel devastated if I did something like this, but obviously, he was 19 years old. Everybody makes mistakes. And thank God no one was injured. That's a crazy story, but you're telling me you didn't even get out the car? You didn't even get out of the car to check on him? Come on, man. You're crazy. That was a good story. Let's read a couple comments. The first one said, that is so heavy to carry with you. You learned a tough lesson, though. It shows how quickly things can change and how much one moment matters. All right, let's find another story. I just was like, wow. Aw, this one's kind of sad. It says, this one was posted 10 hours ago. It says, I feel like I made the biggest mistake of my life by getting engaged. For context, we are 26 female and 31 male. I feel like such a horrible person for saying that, but the thought has been in the back of my head for weeks now. We've been together for almost 3 years, and initially, he was so kind and caring. I fell for him so quickly because we just have so much in common, and he gets me in ways no other people ever have. I wish I could say it stayed wonderful and romantic and all I've ever wanted, but after a while, it just seems like I've become his doormat. He's finally met all of my family, and since then, it's felt like he's secured me because of that, and now has completely stopped trying in all aspects of our relationship. Tonight, while doing a chore, I asked. He started mumbling to himself about how I'm bossy, rude, etc. I asked him to please stop saying things about me under his breath, and if he has an issue, just to speak to me directly. This is an ongoing issue. Well, instead of doing the rational thing and talking to me like the adults we are, he instead flew into a rage and started insulting me, calling me names, and screaming at me. Girl, if you don't spit in his fucking face. This happens regularly. It has happened 3 times this week already. Girl, run! I better see an update at the end of this that says she left. I can't say this to any of my friends because I already know their responses and I have no self-respect. Sorry. She said, I can't say this to any of my friends because I already know their responses and I have no self-respect. So I wouldn't be able to face them if I stay with him. But last week, it finally came to its worst when he put his hands on me. I knew it. I knew it was coming. We were arguing as usual, it seems these days, and he pushed me. He grabbed my arm and he twisted it behind my back. He grabbed me by my throat and he pushed me to the ground. He threw the pair of shoes in his hands at me and busted my lip. When I was finally sobbing on the ground, he had the audacity to sit next to me and start crying himself. I'm just so tired. I don't know if this is some kind of work stress on his end or what, but I don't want to spend my whole life as someone's emotional and physical punching bag. I'm only one girl. I can only bear so much. But now he's met my family, and in my family's culture, you don't really break up after you announce an engagement with someone. I feel so stuck. I feel so scared. I feel like I was blinded by who I wanted him to be, so much so that I didn't check in on myself. And now I'm here. We fought again, and he packed a bag and left to his parents' house. He blocked my number. I just want this to be done, and I don't want to lose the person I loved. I'm so tired of hurting. I'm just so tired. I just want to be loved back. Why is that so much to ask for?
Oh, got me tearing up.
There is an update, so I'm going to read that and hopefully we have some good news. Hey everyone, sorry for not responding to anything. I posted this and promptly passed out because it was 5 a.m. I appreciate everyone's comments so much. When I made this post last night, I wasn't expecting any replies or anyone to actually read this. I more so posted it to scream my feelings into the void of the internet. Thank you to everyone who was and will chime in. I read every reply and needed a reality check. I'm safe right now and doing okay. My cats have been awesome at keeping me company. I am so happy to hear that she's talking to her therapist about this to figure out, and then she's going to tell her mom and sisters about what's going on. I really hope that her family supports her. I know that she mentioned that her culture, they kind of expect things to go off without a hitch. It seems like once you say you're getting married, that's it. You better stick it through. I hope that her family doesn't hold her to that and like supports her. I hope that she can find peace and somebody who will love her genuinely and not physically abuse her or mentally and emotionally abuse her. That was kind of a heavy story, so I think I'm going to read one more that's not as sad. Here's one. I think they're asking for advice. This is in the True Off My Chest Reddit. This one says it's 18 plus, so I don't know what the contents are. This one says, should I tell my dead boyfriend's parents that he was thinking of them before he died? My boyfriend died 8 years ago in a tragic accident. He was my first boyfriend. He died from a concussion that remained untreated for 20 hours. Because he was stubborn and refused to see doctors, he's just like that. It was caused by a severe migraine. He slipped and fell onto some train tracks, hit his head, and died 20 hours later. I have a gift, or maybe I had a strong personal connection to him. He died in another country while on a work internship. The night before he left, he was visiting me at my house. When I saw him out to his car, I started crying. It was like I knew it would be the last time I saw him. He looked at me all puzzled and asked me what was wrong. I wanted to yell and shout, "Don't leave," but I didn't. I just told him I was crying because I was going to miss him. But randomly at 7:15 p.m. on the day he died, I had a strong, overwhelming feeling of sadness and despair. My thoughts were just revolving around the phrases of, I wish I'd told my parents I love them. The psychological pain was so crippling. I lay in bed for 45 minutes and sobbed uncontrollably. And then, just as suddenly as it began, it just stopped. 10 minutes later, my phone rang and I knew what it was for. I picked it up, and his aunt told me that he'd passed away 10 minutes ago. I accompanied his parents to the country where he died. When we identified the body, the first thing they did was hug me as we cried together and said, "We may have lost a son, but we've gained a daughter." Aww. It's been close to 9 years, and I know that they are suffering quietly as I am. I've been diagnosed with treatment-resistant depression and CPTSD. I still keep in close contact with them. Hell, I'm leaving in 2 weeks to go on a holiday with them. I don't want to dredge up the past, but my boyfriend was never good at communicating his feelings. He never hugged them, said I love you to his parents, or bought them gifts, but I could tell he loved them deeply. He was just a silly boy who didn't know how to express his feelings. Some people have said to tell his parents about what I experienced before he died. Some said don't do it. I'm not sure which one will be more helpful, so I'd like some advice. Wow, that is really heavy. Let's read some of the comments. First one, I don't think you should tell them exactly this, but if he is somehow brought up, tell them that he loved them dearly. That is a good idea. You don't have to tell them exactly how you know that. You can just tell them. You can tell them he talked about it. You can lie if you still want the effect of letting them know. They don't have to know the exact way that you know that. So that's very true. I think that's a really good idea. I think that's great advice. Thank you so much for watching. That was True Off My Chest, stories from Reddit. I actually ended up liking these, I think, a lot more than the Am I the Asshole or Am I the Devil groups that I've been in. I really liked this one. There were more stories that I could have read, but some of them were really heavy. Some of them were a little bit not suitable for YouTube. So I don't know. I might do another video where we talk about those type of topics, but I tried to keep this one as light as possible. So if you want me to do this again, let me know. I really liked this one. I will probably do this a couple more times. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, like, leave a comment. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a really good day. See you later.